Welcome to Hull Collegiate School's virtual open day. My name is Alice Rose Palmer. I'm a local actor and I work with a company, She Productions-based company based in Beverley. And it was a real privilege to be asked to host the event this evening for Hull Collegiate School. We are live from the school, as you can see, and although normally open days are held, we've allowed people to come into the school and look around. Under current circumstances, that's not possible, but it means we're allowed the exciting opportunity to try something virtually. So what can you expect from this evening? Well, this evening, we're going to be hearing from all representatives from all around the school, all the important different areas of the school, and also I have a panel with me this evening, which I would like to introduce now. So my first guest is Head Teacher Alex Wilson.
Good evening.
And Deputy Head Teacher Chris Wayman.
Good evening.
Thank you for joining me this evening. So we are asking you to join in with us and ask questions, and we will put them to our panel at the end of this evening, the last section of the evening, our Q&A. So if you would like to ask questions, you can see behind me. All you have to do is use the hashtag Hull Collegiate School, hashtag AskHCS, that's hashtag HCS, and then if you head to the email address admissions@hullcollegiateschool.co.uk, you can ask questions there also. So without further ado, I'd like to pass on to Alex for an opening message.
Good evening everyone and welcome to this live event. It's certainly a first for us. So we're standing here in the entrance hall of Tranby Croft, the former home of the Wilson family and site of the 19th century royal baccarat scandal. This is also the heart of the senior school. A part of the building that's used by our pupils every single day as they wander around the school building. Our senior school approach, I want to talk about three things really here. So our approach to academic life is one where we don't put labels on our children. We aim to give them floors and not ceilings. We want to bring out the very best in each individual by setting high expectations of each of them and supplementing that with passionate subject specialists, inspiring them with a love of history or physics or whatever subject it is that they are teaching. This is then coupled with our pastoral care, which is second to none. Every child in this school is known well as an individual. They are known by name, and that gives us a really warm family environment and a place in which the child can really thrive and feel at home. And the way in which we develop them as whole people is through our extracurricular programme. So we would have over 65 clubs and activities running every week, ranging from sport, drama, music to science club, debating, creative writing. And all of these clubs give the children an opportunity to try themselves out in a number of different ways, to find their niche, and in doing that to develop confidence and to thrive. And confidence is incredibly important in terms of what we are teaching our children. We are preparing them for the next stage of their lives, and we are getting them ready so they feel comfortable talking to adults, that they are able to stand on a platform and speak in public. In addition to all of that, we are instilling in them a sense of their place in the community, but also the extraordinary position of privilege they're in here, and so they are developing that sense of the need to give back to our local and global community as well. So we get them to look outwards. We get them to really think about how it feels to walk in another's shoes and to want to be part of helping others in that way. Our children come to us from all over the East Riding and North Lincolnshire. They travel to school by bus. And that creates a really vibrant environment here in school. They have the grounds in which to spend time at break times and lunch times, and when they join our school, they're joining us, and they remain part of our community for life. So our thriving alumni community also is one in which that they're able to take part in, whatever their age, and they're invited back to events at school. But our support of them doesn't stop when they leave us at the end of Upper Sixth. Our support is with our students, from the very youngest students joining us in the nursery right through to year 13, and for life as well. So as a 3 to 18 school, we have children joining us at all different points on their journey. But wherever they join us, that is a journey through the school. So we have children moving from our nursery into our pre-prep to the prep school, and prep school into the senior school. And this is where the children who've been with us in our prep school are actually joined by quite a number of children from other primary schools in our area, and so the year groups, as we move through the school, get slightly larger. They're still in relatively small teaching groups, but we have this lovely mix of children who join us at that point. And again, we have children joining to take their GCSEs with us, and again a number who join us to take A-levels. But throughout, at whatever age children join us, they're very much on a journey with us, but one which will stay with them for life.
Thank you, Alex, for that great introduction to the senior school. And I just wanted to ask you really, how does it feel running an open day digitally?
Well, I think over the last 12 months, we've all had a real opportunity to try new things and just think outside the box and try to find new innovative ways of getting our message across. So this is what's behind why we're trying this out this evening. And of course, if any of you do have any questions following the evening, do follow up and contact us and come in for a private tour as well.
Fantastic, thank you. And I think we saw in that VT there, that little video package, that the senior school feels, well, all parts of the school, but in particular in that section, it very much feels very community focused and it feels like a family. But I'm interested as well in finding a little bit more about, say, curriculum and maybe outside the curriculum, things that happen in the senior school.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. So the curriculum, really, there's a real focus on breadth and choice. And so this choice begins right from when the students join us in year 7, where they will study a carousel of languages, for example, and after the first few weeks of trying out the 4 different languages that we teach, Spanish, French, German and Latin, they would then choose which 2 they would like to study right up until the end of year 9. In terms of breadth, we offer a wide range of subjects, as you would expect, but these include design technology, music, art, food and nutrition science, alongside the traditional math, science, humanities, English, etc. that you would expect.
Fantastic. And Chris, is there opportunities to sort of work outside the school, to go further than the school grounds?
There are, and I won't try and list all the trips because we'll be here all evening, but that starts right with our youngest children. The weekly welly walks on the school grounds, year 3 camp on the school grounds as well, year 4 go to Malham, year 5 Robin Wood Activities Centre, and this year I know year 6 are planning a trip abroad, a cultural visit for the first time. And in the senior school you can expect all the curriculum visits, field trips and so on. Just this week in the newsletter we've put save the date for a ski trip to Switzerland, Uganda for the pre-6 and 6th form, Iceland for geographers, pre-6 and 6th form, a Normandy visit, food science and nutrition, classical Italy trips. The list is literally endless. That just gives you a flavour of what's happening over the next few weeks.
Fantastic. If that's just a flavour, then that's absolutely brilliant. That sounds fantastic. Like there's lots of opportunities, as you say, within the curriculum to grow and then also have these experiences outside of the school. Now, you mentioned that kind of these trips and these kind of excursions start from a very, very young age. So I think that takes us very smoothly towards a video from Declan Whitfield telling us a little bit more about, is the Assistant Head of Prep, so telling us a little bit more about the prep school.
we obviously start entry at kind of the age of 3, and we have a wonderful setup with our nursery EOIFS team, highly skilled teaching staff, highly skilled unit of members of that staff as well, and within that we've got a great environment for them. So within the usual kind of curriculum setup down there, they're developing their speech, they're developing their motor skills, they're developing their kind of social aspect of their development as well. We really nurture them from that kind of first steps through the school. As well as that, we've also got the physical setting as well, so kind of that outside space, probably one of the best that I've seen, probably one of the best in the UL groups. We then kind of move on to reception in Key Stage 1, so from each transitional phase we have a really strong unit of staff where the communication is really effective, the continuity across teaching as well, because it's so high, we have that really nice development from nursery to EYFS reception into Key Stage 1, and they're constantly progressing through all of that with really clear leadership, really clear teaching and learning goals that are set from that very early stage up into Key Stage 1. By the time we end up getting to kind of Key Stage 1 with Year 1, we have kind of phonics screenings, which are pretty standard, and we use these to track and monitor their progression within the key skills of phonics at that age. Then we get into Year 2. Now obviously we don't do SATs, and we tend to find that lack of pressure at the end of Year 2 allows us to maximise their potential in other areas, and just making sure that they're spending more time broadening their understanding and their development.
So in Key Stage 2 we have a variety of different subjects. Now a lot of primary schools, particularly state schools, tend to follow the system of maths, English, and then they tend to do a topic base where they kind of put a lot of their subjects within that. Whereas we have this kind of what looks very similar to a secondary school timetable, where we have a lot of specialist subjects, and the teaching quality within that, we have specialist teachers. So you don't have your class teacher teaching just their class. They have the experience of lots of different teachers who are experts in their field across art, DT, the humanities, and also because we have the luxury of the secondary school attached to it as well, we get to start to develop a transitional process where we have some of the language teachers coming down and teaching Spanish to our Key Stage 2 children, and that kind of allows them to go over to the senior school, makes it a bit more familiar for them, so we're not just getting to the end of Year 6 and they kind of are then going into Year 7 as a big daunting task. They've had that experience, they're aware of some of the teachers. I mean, we're really lucky at Hull Collegiate to have such wonderful grounds. So not only is it lovely to turn up to work, but the children have a wonderful place to play as well. You know, we have open fields, lots of places, and so we have this approach to playtime, which is Opal Play, which is about maximising creativity, that development of play. So actually those ideas that we see early on in EOIFS, we don't lose those as they get older. They're holding on to them because they're rich in learning opportunities as well. Our pastoral care is probably second to none. Having such small class sizes really helps us to understand each individual child. Each person's personality is completely understood by the teacher. And then we have great leadership in our pastoral leader in prep, who has a great connection with the senior school pastoral team as well. So those children who do move through the school are supported continually. We have a wonderful array of trips as well, so we are regular users of Forest School down in prep. They get to develop skills of building things, team games, working as a unit, and then developing skills that help them to assess risk as well, which is really, really important. And on top of that, we also get to do a residential every single year, and those residentials that come at the end of the year. In terms of our extracurricular provision, we have clubs on the lunchtime, covering things like chess, kitchen sink science, debating club, book clubs, you know, all of these really exciting things that if children want to go that little bit further, find their passion that's maybe a little bit more niche, then we provide that for them as well. Seeing how these children develop. I've never been in a school before where I see children go from being the age of 3 to 18, and you get that full range of development, and it's a really heartwarming experience. It's wonderful to be a part of.
Thank you, Declan. And once again, if you would like to ask questions to our panel, then you can use the hashtag AskHCS or send an email to admissions@hullcollegiate.co.uk, and we will try and answer as many questions as possible towards the end of this session. So as Declan said, prep school is kind of one of the the ones there where they start. So it sounds like you've got a real exciting approach to prep school, and something that seems like there are many broad subjects that they can study in prep school, and I think that's really exciting.
It is. The breadth of subjects that I referred to in the senior school actually does start within our own prep school. And so where you would have your class teacher teaching maths and English, we then, for all of our other subjects, have subject specialists teaching throughout the prep school, whether that's art or languages or history or geography, science. And the idea there is that the children are exposed to subject specialists who are really passionate about their subjects and want to enthuse the children with that passion from a really early age, so that when they do then move through to the senior school, they're used to having a range of teachers moving around a building to lots of different rooms during the course of the day, and just having that kind of all those different levels of input as part of their education.
Fantastic. I mean, there must be nothing like being taught a subject by an expert on it. That must be something really fabulous for the children to experience. And as Declan actually said there, he said continuity and communication are sort of key, and they're something that are constant throughout pupils' time at Hull Collegiate. Is that something that's really important, Chris, to you?
It is, yeah. Being on one site obviously helps, because we have colleagues and friends in the prep school and the senior school who talk on a daily basis. But then there are key transition points as well. So obviously from year 6 into year 7, our head of year 7 has a meeting with all the year 6 team, so all their academic needs and pastoral needs are known before they come through the door in the big school.
It feels like there's a real sort of flow within the school, from the younger ages, which flows through, and there's that level of support and communication, and it's key, isn't it? Really?
I think they're familiar with the senior school as well when they come into the senior school, having used the sports hall, having used the refectory, being on visits to the library and so on. So yeah, that's really key, that it's nothing brand new for them when they start in year 7.
Fantastic. And what an amazing opportunity that the nursery and the prep school have access, to these areas. It's fantastic. So Chris, I think it's time we head to your video, which is about community and everything that goes along with that at Hull Collegiate School.
There's such a strong sense of community across the school. Pupils are supportive of each other, they're helpful, and they've got a real collective responsibility to improve the lives of others. They mentor and buddy other pupils throughout the school. They help out in school council, the academic mentors in maths and English. Just taking on responsibility, as tour guides, prefects, loads of opportunities for them to be young leaders throughout the school and help out. There's a real sense of community locally as well, and so through voluntary experiences they'll go out and help in residential care homes, a couple of local special schools where they'll go and help, and that really helps the pupils develop a sense of maturity and empathy for other people as well. We have a behaviour policy which is centred around unconditional respect, and that really transfers to the children's behaviour throughout the school, in the community, and on the many and varied trips and visits that we have as well. Really showing their moral values within the community. There's a real sense of belonging in the school as well, whether that's to your tutor group, your year, your house, your team, your choir. There's a real sense of collective purpose and belonging, and that's lovely. That's lovely for the staff as well to work here. That family environment is shown throughout the school. There are currently 6 members of staff across the school who are alumni of the school, and it just shows the values of community. I love nothing more than to follow the successes of our previous pupils on LinkedIn. They've just taken over another new business. They're working on the front line, battling against COVID, for example. There's so many success stories. It's great to see. The success of the pupils in the school has been recognised locally via awards from the Hull Daily Mail, community awards, and internationally as well by the Independent Schools Association Awards and the Times Educational Supplements Awards. I'm sure you'll hear plenty about those. It's no surprise with the collective responsibility to help others that the children in the school have led an initiative to import coffee from Uganda and sell it across the UK and the wider world to raise funds to send children to school in Uganda. Absolutely fantastic initiative. The sense of community is really enhanced when we have pupils that come right through the school from 3 to 18, so they're dropped off in explorers and adventurers, and then we see them transition throughout the school. And their experience is enhanced as well by others who join us at various entry points. We have many pupils joining us throughout the prep school, and then obviously there's a big influx in year 7. We often find pupils join us in year 9 for the start of the GCSEs, and then a major influx from other pupils into our sixth form as well. And that just enhances the experience of everyone in the community. The transition is seamless. Be you a new starter, you're given a couple of buddies to help you out on your first day in school, to bounce some of the ideas and questions off that you might not ask a teacher or our registrar. So it's a really a great environment to be a part of, and we're looking forward to welcoming you. My personal experience of school is that it's a harmonious community where people look out for one another, kind, compassionate pupils, staff and parents who are all supportive of our common goal.
Thank you, Chris. That feels a bit odd saying that, as though you're in the room right next to me here. I think that was a really fantastic video kind of showing the community element and the importance of community to the school. I noticed you said in there that there's like a buddy system. Does that mean if someone new to the school that they get a bit of help sort of joining the school or kind of, you know, learning the ways?
They do. It's a key responsibility. Lots of the children want to do that. So once we have a new starter, which is a regular occurrence, I mean we're touring pretty much every day. They have at least 2 buddies in their class who come down to the main reception and meet them and take them up to class and stay with them throughout the day as well. So they make friends on the very first warm-up day, really.
Fantastic. And I think something was mentioned about prefects as well. Could you explain that a bit more?
So the prefects are our upper 6 pupils, and they have various responsibilities around the school and duties, lunch duty and bus monitors and so on. And it's their way of giving back to their school community and helping others. In a similar way, the maths and English academic mentors, that's something that happens on Mondays and Wednesdays in the classrooms where the sixth form pupils, they help out the younger ones in the school. It's really good to see.
Oh, fantastic. That's really intergenerational between all the different year groups.
Yeah.
That's really lovely to hear. It seems, and especially from that video, that sort of it's really important for the school to encourage the students to look outward in terms of community as well. And I'd love to hear a bit more about that, Alex, from you.
Yes, so looking outwards is really important. The children here are part of this particular community. They're also part of our local community, national and a global community as well. And it's really important that they learn to understand their place within those different communities and see themselves also as being part of something that is quite special. It is quite privileged, and to actually understand their place within that, so that they have access to this wonderful education and what we have to offer here. But with that also comes an element of service and an element of looking outwards and wanting to give back too, which is sort of very much at the heart of what we're trying to teach the children about their place in the world.
Yeah, and I think that's really important, especially kind of that development of empathy and something like that is so key to that happening. And I have to point out all the lovely awards that are behind us here, and I presume these, well, the majority of them look like they've been from community projects and things like that.
Yeah, that's right, and it's lovely for the children to get the recognition for the work that they do, and some of these really are top awards, and yeah, it's good for the children to receive those.
Yeah, fantastic. And it seems like there's a lot of opportunity within that wanting to, have community and develop and look outwards of, young enterprise. I mean, in particular, I'm thinking about the Zaffi Coffee. I don't know if you want to say a little bit more about that.
It's a pupil-led initiative, and they do all the marketing, they build the website, they do the sales. So I don't think you really need me to talk about it because they market it so well. It's that good. But it's an opportunity for them to make real business decisions. And there are others as well, the young enterprise opportunities that they get. We're a partner school with 8 billion ideas at the moment. So there's so many opportunities throughout the school to learn as a young entrepreneur.
Yeah, fantastic. It's like developing the different sides as you grow as a person. It's not just the academic, it's, you know, all the other things that go along with that as well. That's really fantastic. So I think what we should do now is we're going to take a step back and we're going to look at the nursery. So I'd like to introduce Tracy Escreet is going to talk to us about nursery.
It's a big milestone dropping your child off to nursery for the first time, so it's really important to us that that first step is as positive and as safe as possible. So we start off in our Explorers room, which is where your child will come on the term that they turn 3. And it's a smaller room with smaller class sizes and a higher adult-to-child ratio, so that they can learn the sort of routines of nursery life and sort of that aspect of school that they may not have experienced before. So the year that they turn 4, which is their full preschool year, the children move into here, which is the adventurers room. It's a much bigger room, there are more resources and everything's sort of upskilled for the children to explore more and take their learning on to the next level. We still make sure that we have large periods of child-led play, but we start to populate that more with adult group-led work, our daily maths, which is where we focus on early number skills. We do a daily phonics session, and we increase this as the year goes on and the children show more readiness to learn. Outdoor learning for us is really, really important. We're so lucky to have our outdoor area, which we designed ourselves so that it specially fits our requirements. We make sure that we have a free flow from inside and out, so once those group activities are finished, doors fly open and the children can move within and out wherever their learning wants to take them. It's all weathers, so we encourage children to bring in wet weather gear. It stays in nursery and there has not been a day that the weather has beat us and we are out all the time. When the children are outdoors, what we're able to do with the way we've designed the outdoor area is promote some risk taking, allowing them to push their boundaries with their gross motor skills, building on that core strength, allowing them to climb and roll and run and push themselves as far as they want to go. So we have a specially designed indoor area. It is enormous and big and bright and it allows us to cater for all the different areas of learning. We focus a lot on those early foundation skills, fine motor, core strength, building up the muscles from the fingers right up to the shoulders, all those pre-writing skills. When we come in the morning, we have what we call a bit of a soft start. So the children come in, they find their feet, find their friends, have a little play before we start our group work. We always start the morning off with our daily dough disco, which is manipulating dough to music, again building up that hand and arm strength, ready for when they need those skills when they move up into reception. What sets us apart from other nurseries is we are part of the wider school, so we do get to make the most of the facilities and the things that Hull Collegiate as a whole have to offer us, which includes things like our weekly welly walk where we experience the entire grounds and take ourselves out. We're really fortunate to have a class teacher down in the nursery, as well as a bank of really excellent experienced staff who know children really well, what they need to take them forward in order to make the most of their time in the nursery. So skills-wise in the nursery, we make sure that everybody's ready for school come September. We make sure that their focus is ready, so they're ready to sit down and learn. Their enthusiasm for learning is there. We try to make independent thinkers and we build all their fine motor muscles up so that they are ready to pick up a pencil and write and have that sustained ability to learn. Even though we're part of a school, we are an all year round provider, so should you need care for your child throughout the holidays or for that breakfast and tea time period, that happens within the nursery as part of our provision. So having worked in lots of different schools, I feel very fortunate to be able to work at Hull Collegiate. We have the best environment by far that I have seen or experienced, working with the best team, playing with the wonderful children. It's a dream job.
It was fantastic to see so many smiling faces on that video there. Thank you, Tracy. Just before we head into questions about that video, remember if you would like to ask questions, you can use the hashtag HCS, AskHCS, or send us an email to admissions@hullcollegiate.co.uk. We have had some fantastic questions come in so far, so thank you for sending those and please do keep sending them in. So back to nursery. It seems like already it's a great introduction to the world of education, which you wouldn't necessarily expect.
Yes, absolutely. The nursery is really the first step on the educational journey of our children. They join us just as they're rising 3, and right from the beginning, they're starting to learn. They also learn through developing their knowledge of phonics. They learn about number and how numbers work. And all the time it's very much a stepping stone for them as they begin to take those early steps in their learning before they move through into our reception class.
Fantastic. And it seems already that it is of the highest standard, which is a fantastic start to a child's sort of entrance into that world of education and beyond, really. Something that really kind of stuck out for me in those videos is the space and the outdoor space that you have at this school that, the children, especially in the nursery, have access to. And I do believe it said that the area was designed specifically for the school. Is that correct?
Yeah, that's right. They're in and out all day. There's no such thing as bad weather. And as Tracy said, they've got the waterproofs, the wellies, and they're in and out, and the fountains and tumbling down hills and jumping off things. It's absolutely brilliant down there.
Yeah, fantastic. And I think I saw something as well about the importance of risk taking and helping them sort of judge risks and make decisions. Is that something that's really important in terms of the nursery?
It is. You'll see them on the slopes and jumping off. There's the fireman's pole and a wobbly bridge. And what we've found actually is the riskier the environment is, the fewer injuries that we've actually had, because they look at it and they assess it and they work out what to do and how not to be injured, which is great.
Yeah.
Well, it certainly seemed like a lot of fun to me. It did make me think that if I was a little bit smaller, I'd go on that fireman's pole.
Yeah, it's really, what's really nice as well is to see that, all the children, whatever the age here, are encouraged to be children and to enjoy the outdoor space and to take those risks and to really enjoy playing outside. And that starts with our very youngest children.
Yeah, that is absolutely fantastic. That's lovely. So from one end of the school to the other end of the school, we're going to head to a VT now about the sixth form, which is considered, I believe, the pinnacle of whole collegiate school life.
We are obviously a through school, so sixth form is part of that, so it's added on to the end of kind of your school life really. It's a really natural progression through to the sixth form. However, you do feel a real change when you do come into the sixth form. There's a lot more independence, you have your own space, obviously in the common room that we're in now. And you do have a lot of responsibility, you have a lot of chances to take yourself out of your comfort zone and to be in a more independent and adult working environment.
The journey is from coming into school in nursery, following through to the sixth form. As part of that, we've taken over the pre-sixth, which was the year 11, to see that natural progression on finishing the GCSEs and studying your A-levels here with us in the sixth form. We get 4 or 5 external applications and students join us every year, and they come in and they jump straight into it, feet first, and we've had students who have joined us in year 12 go on to be head prefects. And you'll hear from one of those very shortly, and she's a fantastic ambassador for the school. You'd have thought she'd been here for her whole schooling career. She's absolutely brilliant, but equally so are all of the students who come through our doors.
And I think about the smaller class sizes as well, A-levels are hard, you're learning how to be an independent learner. You are learning a different way that you do to GCSEs. So to be in a class of 25 plus would be very difficult in my opinion, but to be in a class where there's 5 of you on average in that class, for me that's unrivaled as well. You can't get that.
It's that individual support, isn't it, that's tailored to 5 different individuals in that class instead of 25. Because of the nature of the school, we're very flexible in the subjects that we can offer. We offer a range of A-levels, not those that they just study at GCSE, but new A-levels as well. And we offer BTECs, such as the BTEC Sport. We're able to offer the subsidiary diploma, the diploma and the extended diploma, which is the equivalent of 1 A-level, 2 A-levels or 3 A-levels. So we're very flexible in that sense.
Yeah, definitely, and we do offer subjects such as sociology, psychology, law, economics, business. The students haven't done at GCSE, and that doesn't matter. And these are subjects that students have gone on to study at university because they've really got into them.
Enrichment's something that Mrs Robinson and I introduced when we took over as heads of sixth form. Timetabled lesson once a fortnight, and we put on an array of different activities which are outside of their academic studies.
Enrichment for us is we don't want students to leave here just getting their qualifications in their academic studies. It's about giving you an experience and giving you a whole thorough experience in different types of things that push you and take you outside of your comfort zone. Because with the enrichment and we're kind of looking at careers and where they maybe want to go and what subjects they want to do, we already have an indication potentially of what they want to do with our students. Obviously it's their prerogative to change their mind, we know that and we tailor towards that. But we start bringing in the UCAS application in year 12, and we'll start that and we get them all signed up. We give them a booklet on how to get logged on, what to do, the short videos. There's ways that they can interact with that and understand how to do it, and we do that in a PSHD morning. And once they do that, we will then have one-to-one sessions with them about what it is they want to do. And some come and go, I really want to do this, this and this, and it's fantastic. And some kind of come and go, I just don't know. And that's absolutely fine. And it's again a real journey, as cheesy as that does sound. It is a journey that they go on, and they go on with us. And it's just about finding what they want to do, because it is a daunting process for parents as well. Some parents have never gone through it before as well. So we make sure that we do a higher education night for parents as well.
It's a family feel. Every single member of the sixth form feels valued. They interact together between the year groups, and it's just, up here it's buzzing, it's fantastic, the atmosphere is just superb.
Definitely, and I think that's it, and I think you've hit the nail on the head there. It's just the community feel to it, and it's that they feel safe, and I think kids will learn in the best in a safe environment, and that's how they feel here. They feel safe, they feel nurtured, and they feel like they can achieve anything, because we genuinely believe that they can achieve whatever it is they want to achieve, as long as they're prepared to put in the hard work. You know, we'll get those opportunities for them as long as they're prepared to give everything that they've got to them.
Thank you to Annabelle Robinson and James Windiat, both joint heads of sixth form there, for that fantastic video. It seems with the sixth form, I mean, it is a big time, lots of big decisions are made for those young people, but it seems like you create a really safe environment, as I believe Annabelle said, where they feel comfortable being able to explore those options. Is that something that is important to you as a school?
Yes, it is. So, you know, when they move into the sixth form, obviously they're specialising in particular subjects that they're studying. But that's with a view to moving on from school and you know, developing from there. So we give them a lot of support in terms of future options, moving on from school, whether that's UCAS applications and you know, encouraging them to attend open days for universities and really find out about the courses, whether that's supporting them with preparation for university interviews. It's very much just sort of part of what we do to help them prepare for the next step, both academically and in terms of the universities or apprenticeships that they may move on to. But also we look to enrich them in terms of the sorts of skills that we teach them at this point. Chris, do you want to talk about that?
Yeah, certainly in the sixth form and right through the school, we collapse the timetable 4 times a year and have PSHE days, and some of the enrichment skills that the sixth form will do might be, you know, learning about mortgages, learning about credit cards, learning about the potential pitfalls of university life or you know, higher apprenticeships.
I wish I'd known that.
But there's other things as well, like there's a cooking competition that we do where for 5 to feed 4 friends and do a 3-course meal. Wow. They learn how to change a tyre, how to iron a shirt, things like that, just all these various skills. And we actually have, as James mentioned in the video, we've got enrichment built into the curriculum as well on a weekly basis. So they might be doing there's a great team of eco warriors who remind us about our recycling and various other projects right across the school.
That's fantastic, and it seems like the really important practical things which are sometimes missed that are really important to learn these things about mortgages and how to iron a shirt and things like that. So that's really important, that's fantastic. I think it feels like you're really developing individuals, you're really caring for who they are as a person, not just, you know, their academic grades, and it just feels like something that keeps popping up is this idea of a family, and I think it's really important. So I guess the question I had is, do you still speak to students that have, you know, left collegiate and gone on to, you know, find work or university or things like that?
We do. When you join the school, I think I said in my introductory video that when you join the school, you become a collegian for life, and that's not meant to sound a negative thing. The idea is that you become part of the family, and as you move through the school and then move on and leave us, we then have our alumni coming back, giving careers advice. They will come in as speakers for us, and they really keep in touch with school and remain very much a part of our community.
Fantastic. Well, it really sounds like you're setting them up for success and making the choices that they want to choose for themselves. That's fantastic. I think, as mentioned in the video, we are going to go through another video now of head girl Farah.
My favourite thing about the sixth form is the amount of independence that you have as a student. You're able to structure your own day and be able to do your work and get as much support as you need to get through it. And even if you need help with anything, the teachers are always available for it and they're always up to it. And even just at the beginning of sixth form, when you're choosing the subjects that you wanted to do, even if you chose something and you thought that, oh, that might not have been a great choice, there was always that option to be able to start a new subject and be able to catch up on it and get the support that you needed to be on track with it. I currently do maths, further maths, biology and chemistry, and I chose these subjects mostly because I wanted to go on and study medicine or pursue a science degree in engineering. And I just have a general thirst for knowledge, and I really like the science subjects because they explain how things work. I think the teachers are really great, and even when you don't understand what's being said, or if you're doing your homework and you get lost on it, you're always able to go back and be able to ask them to go through that thing with you, and they always make time for that. And I'm someone who's doing 4 subjects, whereas other people are doing 3, and sometimes that's really difficult to juggle and do all that revision. But I think I found how much the teachers are really supportive and really helpful within that process, making it easier for me to actually be able to juggle all these 4 subjects. In terms of applications for universities, I had not much of clues on how to actually start or where to apply or how to do anything. But the school has actually given us good resources to be able to go on to open days. They've been able to grant us time to actually do this as well, even if it's part of when it's during a school day. And even they offer enrichment, which is quite good as well, to build up your extracurriculars and to build up your personal statement when you actually write it. And all these things have been quite useful, especially when it actually came to writing the personal statement, because you have things to put in. And you also get much help with writing it and structuring it, and you get all this advice about, if you're going in the right direction or not. I definitely like the community spirit within the school because it's like close and well knit together. And for someone who came from a different country and just entered a new educational system, I was quite scared that I wouldn't be able to fit in or make friends. But from day one, everyone was there, being able to support me, being able to show me around the school. I'll say one of my biggest achievements within the school is being made head girl of the school, which is something that I really appreciate, and it's been quite a great and grand opportunity to be able to serve within the school community in this role. And it's really taught me to be able to communicate well with others and display leadership skills that I may have not thought I had before. And another thing that I'm really proud of being able to do was pioneering and helping start up the Scholars magazine within the school, which is dedicated to the scholars within the school, writing about their own experiences and maybe being able to motivate other students within the school as well. Anybody is thinking about coming to this school, it's a really great school. Once you get here and once you're part of the school community. It doesn't matter how long you've been here. It seems like you have been here for a very long time. And even most of the people that I speak to and most of the friends that I have, they sometimes forget that I've only been here for 2 years. They think I've been here for longer than that. And that's how much of a great community the school has.
Thank you, Rafara. What an absolutely inspirational young woman she is. She's incredible and a real credit to the school, I imagine. I'm interested to hear a little bit more about the Scholar magazine. Is that something that the pupils created themselves?
It is. It's a student-led initiative. Rafaro is one of our academic scholars, and as such, she took a lead on developing a journal, a termly magazine, to celebrate the different talents of our various scholars throughout the school. So our first edition, we had a focus on pupils who have scholarships in sport or drama or music, and some of the achievements that they've had. Our current edition is looking at children in years 7 to 9 and the various talents that they have. And again, this is just a termly magazine led by her with children of different ages contributing. So again, there's that sort of links between the different ages of children throughout the school, working together on joint ventures.
Yeah, and being able to sort of learn from their peers is really important. There seems to be a lot of opportunities that are created for them to be creative themselves, and I'm just thinking about like the music and drama. Is extracurricular activities also incredibly important?
It is. So we have over 65 clubs and activities running
65.
Yes, every week. All children are expected to part in these right through the prep school and into the senior school. And these are just give our children an opportunity to try themselves out in lots of different ways, try new things. Whether they're activities that support or enhance things that they're learning in the classroom, so it may be debating or creative writing, or it may be something that's more practical, whether that's joining an orchestra or a choir or taking part in a school production. But these are really opportunities for the children to develop their talents, to develop confidence, and to learn to work together and develop that confidence that makes them into the rounded children that we are sort of aiming to turn out.
Fantastic. Did you have anything to say?
Yeah, I think just in addition, it's that sense of belonging, to their team, their club, their choir, their orchestra, and that really is such a fantastic thing to have in a school. And when the year groups mix vertically as well, the opportunities for the young ones to be working with the sixth formers is just great to see. And the children, when they lead the activities as well, this isn't just members of staff that are leading these 65 clubs, it's children that are leading them for other children as well.
That's great. That's a really good initiative. So I think we've heard a little bit from lots of representatives throughout the school. I think it's time we maybe hear a little bit from some parents.
The children have been here for 6 years now, 5-6 years. It doesn't feel that long. I still feel like a new girl, and even when I drive up to the school, it still feels like this is all new and exciting. And it's been a really, really good 6 years. I've got not one single regret about them coming here.
I have 2 boys, Joshua and Luke. Currently, obviously, going to Hull Collegiate, loving it at the moment. We came out from Amsterdam into the UK. Went around and we struggled to find some schools until we came here, and it was an immediate fit. It was fabulous. So the boys have integrated into the school very nicely, settled very nicely. It's home.
We contacted the school and immediately had a welcome email with all the information we'd need. When I was offered the job, then we came up and my daughter had a familiarisation day. She's still friends with the people who showed around on that familiarisation day. And when she started in the beginning of the spring term in 2019, she was so happy. She came bouncing home on the first day. She said a couple of weeks later, and she came from an outstanding state school, within a few weeks she said, you can really tell the difference when you're taught by experts in their field. And I was blown away. I was thrilled that we'd made this decision for her.
Yeah, so the school being so small, all the pupils know each other, all the teachers know all of the pupils. It just feels like a very close-knit community, and you can tell the teachers love the children as well.
We thought, you know what, we really like the school, we want to try this. So we brought her in for year 6, and within weeks there was a huge change. Our youngest, our daughter, she was noticeably more confident. And she was picking up the different skills and the different processes she was trying to learn. Things that maybe she'd got a bit stuck on at her previous school, and we noticed these real tangible kind of leaps forward.
Once we decided to join Hull Collegiate, the family community was amazing. We were welcomed with open arms. All the events that we attended, all the sporting events, it just felt right. Honest, sincere. There was no airs and graces. It was fabulous. Really good decision.
But there's more to a school than just the academic side, and what my daughter really loves is the lunchtime sessions. And I know that they're compulsory, but there's such a range and diversity in those clubs that she just thrives. She looks forward to days where she can do anime club or creative writing, and she's really thrilled to have all of the extracurricular stuff to do as well. So I think look at the holistic experience and what the school can offer the pupil, both for academic standards and the academic experience, but the broader student experience as well.
The biggest thing for me is that our children are happy at school. And I just think that is absolutely huge, because if they're happy, they'll do better, and they'll do better with whatever else they do. And I've never once had to get them up to come to school. I've never once had to say, come on, you know, you've got to go. They've always come here willingly, and to me, that's a really, really big thing.
I think for people considering sending children here, there's always that idea of, well, leave it till secondary, don't worry about prep, but had I my time again, I would really consider bringing them in earlier, because the leaps forward that they've taken over these, well, few months that they've been here has been really good to see, and kind of regret not doing it earlier.
Send your children here, they'll be happy. And yeah, the best in everybody motto applies, I've seen.
I'm absolutely sure that the community at Collegiate has allowed her to find her voice and express her individuality, and there is something about the community in the school that has allowed her both to feel part of a group but also an individual within that group, and I think that's been part of the making of her. I've got such great hope for her for the future, and I'm sure that this school is giving her the springboard she needs for a successful future.
There were some really glowing recommendations there. That sounds incredible. And it sounds like you have a really great relationship with the parents whose children obviously attend the school. Is that something that's really important to the school, having that sort of communication and that relationship with parents?
It is. We really see it as a partnership between the staff and the parents and the pupils themselves, and that the strength of relationships between parents and teachers is such that, you know, parents are comfortable emailing teachers directly if they have a query or a concern, and we encourage them to do that, you know, with the form tutors being the first port of call for any sort of parental concerns. But it is important that we build up those relationships with our parents, supporting us with the various activities that they take part in as well.
Fabulous. Chris, did you have anything to add?
Yeah, and we have a Friends of Hull Collegiate School network as well. They're fantastic at organising events, Christmas fairs, summer fairs, the Michaelmas Ball as well. The summer fair, for example, it brings 3,000 people onto the school site in the summer and raises lots of money for the school pavilion was partly funded by the Friends, minibuses, lots of other activities across the school as well. So it's a really good community to be a part of.
Yeah, it seems to me that the one thing, again, I'm sure I've said it before, but I've really got to say it, that this community, family, it just feels like such a lovely environment to be able to learn in and grow as a person. And as you say, it's that flow, you know, from nursery through prep to senior school and then sixth form, there just feels like such a nice balance, and that it's been made that way. So that's fantastic. Just before we move on to your questions, and thank you for sending them in, I just wanted to pick up on something that I found really interesting on your website. Alex, I think it was in your piece, you said that there are no ceilings when it comes to this school, and I found that a really empowering phrase, actually. So I was just wondering if you could just talk just a little bit about that.
Of course. So it's to do with our approach to how we set high expectations for the children. I talk about giving the children floors and not ceilings, and by that what we're talking about is we are giving them a sort of grounding, we're giving them roots. But we're also not putting any ceilings. It's obviously a reference to the glass ceiling, but we're not putting any limits on what they might achieve or expecting. If they're struggling with something at this point, it's not that they can't do maths or history or whatever they're struggling with. It's just that that they all develop and change at their own pace, and that we encourage them to keep trying. And it's amazing how you can see that different children developing in different ways, and really sometimes something will click with an individual and you just see them absolutely flying. I've got a particular child in mind who really struggled with maths throughout prep school and found it a real challenge, and entered senior school feeling very much that this was not her thing. But this is somebody who's now looking at a grade 8 or 9 for maths GCSE, and feels actually really confident in the maths, and that's down to that kind of that support and nurture that she's received, and the teachers really instilling in her that belief that you can get there, you can do it. And that, coupled with an expectation that they really will do that, I think it is what really inspires the children to really push themselves and to aim high.
Yeah, lovely, absolutely lovely. I think it's probably time for some of your questions. Thank you for sending them in. So the first question is, what measures have you put in place to ensure pupils can catch up on any lost learning due to the pandemic, particularly for those coming in from outside primary schools this year?
Good question. So throughout the periods of lockdown that we've had, as a school, we have provided online live teaching each day. And so we feel very confident that our own community has really benefited educationally from what we provided. But we are aware that other children perhaps have not necessarily had quite the same. And so our approach very much is that when children join us, we assess where they're at, and we put together a bespoke package of support for each individual. And if there are those gaps, we will work with the child and with the family, with the parents, to help bridge those gaps, and to just make sure that that if there is some catch up, that can easily be put into place.
Fantastic. We have another question. What are the teaching class sizes like in prep school?
They vary in the different year groups, but usually around about between a dozen and 15 in the prep school.
Okay, fantastic. So we've had a question from someone regarding becoming a maths or English mentor in the sixth form for younger pupils. Are these opportunities available to older pupils in the school?
They are indeed. So anyone in the sixth form, if you want to get involved, even if you're new into our sixth form, if you just let either the head of maths or English or the heads of sixth form know that this is something you're interested in getting involved with. They will gladly help you to get involved with that. And that also goes for pupils in other year groups wanting to get involved in any of the initiatives. All you have to do is speak up, and we'll provide you with those opportunities. Or if there are other things in particular that you're really keen to set up or to try, or there's a club that we don't have, we want to empower the children to feel that they can set these up, or work with us to get those activities off the ground as well.
Fantastic.
It's often really nice to see as well in the sixth form when you go into their shared common room, because year 12 and 13, the lower and upper sixth are mixed together, that they help each other as well, because our upper six are experts in economics and business studies and psychology and law and so on, and they help and just kind of guide and mentor the year 12, the lower six through.
Yeah, fantastic. And this is a question which I'm very interested in actually as well. Regarding lunches, they've said, I imagine you get a lot of questions from the children who start the school about this, so please give it away.
Yes, we do. So lunches are cooked on site here. We have a 3-weekly menu cycle that we work with the children actually through the school council. We get recommendations for them for things that they would like to see as part of the menu. The lunches are included in the fees. And all children have school lunch every day. The range of hot options, vegetarian options, a grab and go sort of sandwich option as well. So there's always something. I know quite often it's children who perhaps might be a little more fussy in terms of what they eat, being worried about will they like the food. There's always something for you to find and choose to eat every day.
Fantastic, great. Well, from the smell that I smelled earlier on, I'm very jealous. Do you take pupils throughout the year, or do I have to wait until September to move my child to Hull Collegiate School?
You can come at any point. As I mentioned earlier on, we're touring every day, every week. So at any entry point, you come and join us, and you'll meet your buddies and have a warm-up day. Yeah.
Fantastic, that is lovely to hear. So you mentioned how important the parent community is within the school. How often do you hold parents' evenings?
Right, parents' evenings, of course, these are an opportunity for parents to hear about the progress of their own son or daughter. We hold these regularly, so depending on the year group that your child is in. So for example, if you're a year 7 or a year 8 parent, you would come into school 3 times a year to hear about your child's progress. Initially, around October time in the first term, you would meet with your child's form tutor and have an overview in terms of sort of a general overview of how they're getting on and how they've settled into that year group. You then have opportunities throughout the year on 2 further occasions to come in and meet each individual teacher that your child has, to hear about their progress and to have an open discussion with parents. And we deliberately moved towards this model a couple of years ago, away from what might be perhaps sort of traditional school reports, which we felt actually what we wanted to encourage was that conversation between the parents and the pupil themselves and the teacher, rather than just a sort of a general comment about their progress. We also report to parents every half term in terms of sort of where the children are at, in terms of their grades and their effort in subjects as well. So there's a sort of a very regular cycle of reporting.
Fantastic. Well, I've just had this question handed to me, so I feel like this is a question I've got to ask. It's a question on extracurricular lunchtime activities in prep and senior school. I'm presuming they're asking what happens or what's on offer.
Yes, so most of our extracurricular activities do take place at lunchtime, and this is partly because our children come to us from such a broad catchment area, from all over Hull and the East Riding and North Lincolnshire. So it's really important at the end of the school day that they're able to get on the buses and get home again. But at lunchtime we have the activities programmes running. We have different lunch sittings depending on what activities there are. And as we mentioned, all children are encouraged to get involved with these. They're able to make new selections each term for the activities they want to get involved with. So you have that opportunity to try lots of new things, or perhaps if you have an old favourite, you can stick with that as well. But our lunchtime is quite an extended period of time, deliberately designed so that we can fit these activities in, as I say, so the children are able to get home at the end of the school day.
Fantastic. And did I hear something about an equestrian? Was it a society or a group or something?
We do. We have an equestrian team as well.
Oh, fantastic.
Some very talented youngsters as well, including Team GB.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
That's really exciting. So we've had a question about wraparound care, which is mentioned on the website. Can you explain a little bit more about this?
Yes, so wraparound care is available for all of our children, no matter what their age. They can join us from about 7:30 in the morning for kind of early morning breakfast drop-off. And then we are open right through till 6 o'clock in the evening, and it's designed to help working parents be able to drop children off early and have that extended time. This also works in the senior school too, so if parents are picking children up, or if you just want the opportunity to be able to stay behind at the end of the day to complete homework, then we have that facility available in school at no charge as well.
Fantastic. And actually, I think a question which will bounce off something that was said earlier on. You mentioned earlier in the video that the senior school, Alex, about children travelling from across East Yorkshire and northern Lincolnshire, and your bus routes cover a vast area. Where exactly do your bus routes go?
All over, you're testing my geography of the area now.
Off the top of your head.
So we have buses that come down from the villages north of Beverley, so Leconfield, Cherry Burton, villages like that. They go out to the coast, out to Hornsey in the east. They come through Hull itself. They come from areas in North Lincolnshire, and also out from the west, sort of Howden, South Cave, and that direction. But what's really important about our bus routes is that we look at the children who will be with us each September, and then if we need to make tweaks to those routes or add in additional stops to help make the routes work for families, we always look to try to do that. We can't always promise to put on absolutely every stop, but we do try to work around so that parents are able either to have a bus stop closer to home or to have a bus stop that they can drop children off at, perhaps on their way to work. So if you have any questions about buses, please just get in contact, and we'll be able to give you the timetables for those. But essentially they are fluid, but they're a really helpful way of getting children to and from school.
Fantastic, and that availability to be as flexible as you possibly can is a real asset, I think. That's fantastic. Again, I've had a mysterious arm has passed me a question. Oh, yeah, fantastic. Yeah, great. So we just have one final question, because we've had quite a lot in. But don't worry, if your question hasn't been answered this evening, it will be answered. Do not worry at all. It's not that it's been forgotten or been lost. It will be answered. It's just unfortunate we had so many great questions this evening. We couldn't get around to them all. So we've had a question on extracurricular opportunities, in particular opportunities for musicians. Can you just tell us a little bit more about this?
Yes. So music's a real strength of the school. We have a number of children who join us with music scholarships, but we also, our approach is very much about music for all as well. So we have children from year 2 upwards able to take Perry music lessons in a variety of instruments. So whatever instrument, we have a whole host of visiting music teachers who come into school every week. In addition to that, we have choirs, orchestras, string groups, wind bands, all the sorts of musical activities that you would expect. Some of those are for our sort of very accomplished musicians, and others are activities that if you just enjoy singing, or you've only just started to play, that you can get involved, because this is, again, a real focus for us. We want the excellence, of course we do, but we also want to have that opportunity, be it in music, in sport, in drama, for everyone who wants to be involved to be able to do that.
Fantastic, thank you very much. And thank you all for your questions. As I said before, the school will respond to all the emails that have been sent and all the questions that have been sent, so do not worry, you will get a response. So before I wrap up finally, we just wanted to say that if you do have any inquiries or you'd like to know anything more, I do believe an image may pop up behind me or on your screens, which will tell you where to go. So it's Sharon McEwen, and she is in charge of registering pupils. So there should be an email address on there, I believe, that you can send your emails to, if not admissions@hullcollegiateschool.co.uk. And I just wanted to say thank you so much for taking your time out today and allowing me to ask you some questions. And I guess I just wondered if you had any final thoughts that you wanted to say.
I suppose what I would say is, as we said at the beginning, circumstances have meant we've had to run our open event, slightly differently this time. But we are open for bespoke one-to-one tours. We have families coming in to meet with us all the time. So if you would like to find out more, please do contact the school and we can arrange for you to come in and have a visit and answer any further questions that you might have.
Fabulous as well, and I think I saw on the website that there's a virtual 360 tour that you can go on as well if you're not quite able to make it to the school, so that was fantastic.
Yeah, that's worth the 360 tour. That's really worth the visit because you'll see other teachers there as well who haven't necessarily featured tonight, talking about their specific departments.
Fantastic. Yeah, and thank you to those teachers and those heads of departments that were involved in the video process that made tonight such a great event. So yes, we just want to say one final thank you to all of you that were tuning in. Again, as I said, if you had any questions, send them to admissions@hullcollegiateschool.co.uk, and just one big thank you to you all. Thank you very much and good night.
Thank you.